I like that spice of life. Welcome to our little spice of life. Like, you know, a slice of life.
Uh,
That's good.
I guess I could say that.
It's not.
Not
It's
not
not clever though,
not
is it?
crazy about it.
That's what. Well, Jonah's idea.
I don't know about that.
Um, he he who controls the podcast controls the internet.
He who controls the he who controls the spice controls the podcast.
Stay tuned for Burnaflick.
Hello, this is Burnaflick. Welcome to Burnaflick. We are here. What day is it? It's a Wednesday,
I don't know. I'm leave.
and it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I think it's been about a month.
It's been about a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I went to Italy, and then and I still have classes going on. And I was actually sick over the weekend. But we're here to talk about Dune 1984. And I know last time I didn't have a movie to pick. So for those of us, for those of the three people who watched this, I know last time we didn't pick a movie and we would just text each other. And but the movie I picked or ended up picking was Dune 1984.
Im's like, it's Dune 1984. Watch it. Bye. I'll see you in a month.
And yeah, I picked it because Dune Part 2 came out, and I watched it, and I think I picked the movie before I watched it.
Definitely, because it hadn't
yeah.
come out yet.
That's true. But it was gonna come out, and it was like in my mind a lot, and that's kind of what made me pick this movie because I thought, hey, it'd be cool to kind of see how this movie is different, like what kind of choices David Lynch made as opposed to Denis Villeneuve. And everyone said that this movie was bad, so like, how bad is it?
It's definitely a product of the 80s.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, showing what with the technology we have now and the better understanding of storytelling in movies, or at least for epics, I think what you can say I was just talking about this. I didn't say it specifically, but
Yeah.
the blueprint was Lord of the Rings.
What do you mean?
The blueprint was showing a story from beginning to end, from their beginnings until the triumphs, and that's what we're going towards right now. We're still in part 2 of the original of not
Okay.
of like Dune right now, and Denis Villeneuve. Like, I'm not saying he is like, oh yeah, I owe this to not Peter Jackson, but it definitely is.
But it feels that way.
It feels that way,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing that. You see the young Paul Atreides,
Yeah,
you know,
he's
who's
like a little teenage boy.
Yeah,
all
who's
boyish.
wet behind the ears, and then
Yes.
he goes through, you know, a couple of months to over a year of, you know, of troubles, and now he's, you know, spoiler, he's the top dog.
Yeah.
And it's gonna go even further, of course, and I can't wait for the next movie.
Hmm.
And you look at like the Lord of the Rings trilogy was one year after another after another.
Yeah, no, the crazy thing of the Lord of the Rings trilogy is they were all filmed at the same time. So I that's kind of unheard of for like sequels and such. Normally, you make a movie, and if it does okay, then they get greenlit for another one.
Especially an unadaptable.
I know, yeah.
What people would say an unadaptable book.
Talking about Lord of the Rings, right?
Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think what helped Peter Jackson, I mean, obviously Peter Jackson, he went all out. My bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, those were 3 books with David Lynch trying to tackle Dune, all of Dune, just the first book in one movie. You could tell that it's almost like he needed that extra movie,
Yeah.
and
He
Denis showed
did.
that, and
Taking time, making the special effects, the visual effects, everything they have, and God, it's
There's
so. When I watched it, I came out of the movies the same way I came out of watching Everything Everywhere, with my face on the ground.
Oh,
like
Dune Part
jaw,
2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jaw dropped, and it's a million times better than the first movie. And the first movie's amazing.
I think I know we're talking about Dune Part 1 and Part 2 a lot right now, but we'll get to 1984 in a sec, I promise. But no, I agree. I think Dune Part 1, I watched it, I liked it, and then I just kind of stopped thinking about it. And I appreciated like the craftsmanship of it. I appreciated the level of maturity that Denis approached the movie with, and just the movie felt grounded, even though it's like a fucking sci-fi epic. And it didn't feel like it was insulting my intelligence. And at the time, it was a breath of fresh air compared to like Star Wars or whatever. Um, but yeah, the ending of Part 1 kind of leaves me with, oh, all right, I guess that's it. And it doesn't really it's not really a like a page turner. It doesn't feel like a cliffhanger. It just feels like it kind of trails off. It's like, oh, he's with the Fremen now. So it didn't have a strong punch to it. And without seeing Part 2, I think it's easy to say that Part 1 felt unfinished, because it's half a movie. And in fact, Denis Villeneuve even said like he considers it half a movie. After watching Part 2, I definitely have a lot more appreciation for Part 1. And after watching Dune 1984, I have a lot of appreciation for both Part 1 and Part 2. Because, all right, Dune 1984, you know what's crazy? David Lynch, like, he wanted to make sequels. he wanted to make sequels, and, like, there was plans to make a Dune Messiah movie. And then this movie came out, and then everybody and their mom fucking trashed it, and then a little bit later, David Lynch even kind of like distanced himself from it.
Especially taking account of all the other
Yeah,
sci-fi movies from the 80s, which essentially spelled and painted the same picture as Dune
Yeah.
1984. The fact that movie bombed so hard is because it came from a book, and it's the same thing for Lord of the Rings.
it was trying to be Star Wars, and it just didn't work out for it.
Well, like I said, I think
Yeah,
Dune. If he made sequels, I don't think they would have been as bad as Dune 1984.
I can't
Because
say
I
that
think the source material of Messiah is a
you've read
lot.
it?
I've never read them,
read it either.
but I mean, if you look at the book sizes, I mean, this is like
they're big boys.
yeah, Dune itself is a big boy. Messiah
Oh, it's
is
not?
it's big, but it's not like as big
Not
as
okay.
Dune.
Huh.
So I think compacting that into a 2-hour flick would be a lot more manageable than trying to pull off what David Lynch did. Oh well, didn't.
Yeah.
What if the writer of the Dune books after watching 1984 just came out and was like, you know what? I'm going to do what J.D. Salinger did. You are not allowed to make any movie adaptations of any of my books because fuck you.
I don't
I don't know. I don't know if Frank Herbert was alive.
Yeah, I think he was dead.
I know his son was alive,
Brian Herbert.
Brian Herbert.
Yeah. Brian apparently wrote extra books.
Yeah, he is now. He's what's the Tolkien's son.
Oh,
The equivalent.
Christopher Tolkien.
He's basically equivalent of
the head of
Christopher
the
Tolkien.
okay
Of the Tolkien.
The Tolkien verse.
House Tolkien.
House of Tolkien.
Tolkien.
House of Herbert.
Tolkien.
House Herbert. That sounds so lame.
House Herbert.
House
Or
Herbert.
how about Herbert House?
Herbert House.
That sounds better.
I guess.
Herbert
I'm
House.
trying to. I'm thinking in terms of like House Harkonnen, House Atreides, House Herbert. Like it just sounds so.
Well, maybe like the
Dweeby.
Herbert Guild.
Oh, the Herbert. That sounds more. That has a little bit more weight to it.
The Guild of Herb.
Oh my god.
Guild of Herb.
Guild of Herb.
Okay, hey, so I never read Dune. So when I watched Dune 1984 and I saw shit in there that wasn't in Denis Dune Part 1 or Part 2, I was like, this is weird as shit. Like
Yeah.
the spacing guild
Mm-hmm.
and the giant fish puffer guy.
Yeah,
Machine.
with like
yeah.
with the roast beef on his face.
Yes, I was like, what am I watching?
Hey, there's still a third movie coming out. I mean,
Oh,
you
who
never
knows?
know.
After I left the theater yesterday of
Yeah.
seeing Dune Part 2,
Yeah.
I immediately hopped on to see if like the Dune Messiah is already in production. I read like a summary of the book, or at least like kind of quick synopsis.
Yeah.
I think the Spacing Guild plays a bigger role.
Okay.
I think like the Spacing Guild and the Bene Gesserit,
Yeah.
they basically team up and like
Oh, what the?
they team up and they're like, all right, we're about to fuck Mohadib up.
Oh, yeah.
And
Interesting.
so I think that's the whole.
Well, yeah, because
thing.
next stop is they're leaving Dune to go to the planet.
They're doing drive-bys.
Yeah,
They're doing drive-bys, dude.
run the pockets.
Yes. Every planet, every house. Yeah.
I like the what's the name? What's the name of the engine core that they use with the spice? There's a name for their
I
technology.
don't know. I have no idea.
With that giant, big, whale shark looking spaceship that they use for interstellar travel.
Oh, that thing? Oh, I know exactly what you're
You know what
talking
I'm talking about?
I
They literally
there's a
mention
wo-
it. It's
no,
the first
there's
5 minutes.
There's a word for it, but I don't remember what it.
First 5 minutes of the movie, they explain it too. And
Of 1984?
no, well,
Part
1984 and part 1
I don't remember.
because
I don't remember at all.
I also have not read the books. To be honest, I've
Yeah.
seen how big they are, and I'm not a fan of big books anymore.
I got a life to live. All right.
Yeah, right?
What are
Even-
we doing here? Reading?
Even Lord of the Rings was like they split it up into nice, even,
Yeah.
paceable books.
No, I want to read Dune. I was actually looking at dude. I was gonna buy the 3-piece set off of Amazon.
They got 4-piece.
Oh, it's a 4-piece.
They got a 4-piece, yeah.
I was looking at the box set like before the movie came out, and it was like $17.
Mhm.
It's like fucking $30 now.
Yeah.
The Holtzman engine.
Well, you can probably
Spinning.
at Target.
Yeah.
They got most of those sets for like 20% off.
Shit.
So the $30
Yeah, I
set you can get it 20% off from Target.
I should just do that.
Yeah, but like Dune Messiah.
Mhm.
I think it's like Dune Chapter House.
I don't know.
I don't know, and I don't know what the fourth one is.
I know one of them's called God Emperor, so
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, I think Frank Herbert only wrote 4 or 5,
Okay.
and then his son
Chris-
kind of took
not
over.
Chris, Brian.
Mhm.
We talk about Baron Vlad Harkonnen.
Yo, hey, can we talk about the Harkonnens? First of all, they don't call themselves they call themselves Harkonnens.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, oh, that sounds dumb.
Mhm.
That sounds really dumb.
Yep.
And I'm glad that they changed it.
the Harkonnens.
Yeah. They kind of sound like
Ew.
cone
Brother.
people. Like,
Mhm.
and also, why are they gingers? Like, why? I don't.
Well, when the Spacing Guild came in
Yeah.
that first scene, I'm like, oh, okay, here's the Harkonnens.
That's what I thought
Oh,
too.
'cause
And
the black and the
The-
leather.
all the
Yeah.
black,
and
the leather,
and
the
they're
bald.
bald.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And then like showed up, and all of them are like gingered and have like weird hair, and
I know.
Maybe Villeneuve was like, no, that works better. Maybe he's like, we're doing that.
Maybe
for
he's like,
Harkonnens.
that's actually stupid. Let's not do
Gingers.
that.
Who's afraid of ginger?
Oh my God.
That's what he was saying. This French Canadian.
Yeah.
Is he Canadian? French Canadian?
Yeah, he's French Canadian. Yeah, I think he was born in Montreal.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
He was like, first off, there are no gingers where I live. So why would I be afraid of them?
Yeah.
Why would they seem powerful? No offense to gingers out there.
Yeah.
I've never seen an adult ginger. Nor have I seen one that
Gingers are a rare breed. Is it offensive to say that word?
a rare breed or
No,
ginger.
gingers.
No, I think that's
All right.
we
Probably
probably
not.
just lost our one ginger viewer.
well, unsubscribe. Actually, my
I'm
friend
trying to-
Dan,
Oh yeah.
He's-
Dan. Yeah.
but like he's a lot.
He
less,
doesn't look.
He's a lot less ginger when he used
Oh.
to be.
Oh,
Picard.
really? Picard's a ginger. I
Picard's a
guess he's
ginger.
bald, so I can't really tell.
I thought you were talking about like Captain John.
Oh,
Luke
John
Picard.
Luke Picard. No,
Yeah, I was
no.
like, 'cause he's
There's a
bald.
guy in our shop name.
No, I
No, I remember making a ginger joke, and he got really upset
Really?
about it.
Wow.
He's like, "I'm a ginger."
no. They just everybody just
Okay,
wants their
and-
own. Everybody just wants their own word to be offended by these days. Anyway, it's like, hey, you can't use that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
I feel like for Picard, like, because he's like a generic white guy. The opportunity to be offended, like it's like new flavor, and like he wants it. So like when you called him a ginger, he's like, yes, I could be offended by this. How dare you? A little bit plays into that maybe.
South Park made fun of it multiple times. There's no excuse anymore. Can't be offended if South Park made fun of it because they had a reason for it.
Oh, South Park made fun of. I mean,
Plenty of
It was a
times.
big whole
I mean,
thing.
South Park makes fun of everybody.
There's literally like a whole time where Cartman was trying to exterminate all the gingers.
Okay. Okay, so Baron Harkonnen, he's a ginger, but I don't understand. Maybe I do understand the face boils. I think that was put in to make him look more villainous, but like they really go hard with the body horror because there's the whole scene where his doctor is like draining the pus from his, and I'm like, why does that need to be here? Like that doesn't. I don't know. That just grossed me out.
If there was a writer's room in this, or if David Lynch was like the only person who wrote this, which I think it was him.
Apparently, it was just him.
He was like, I gotta think of all the sci-fi things that seem sci-fi and creepy. Let's drain fluids from people's bodies using machines, or little tree sap tools into his belly. Just open the valve, let it pour out, something like that. No, that's very modern. Let's think of something different.
And the way he floats around.
Well, he actually has a machine, like at least in something I've read in the book where the lady talks about he has a machine that helps him move around.
Yeah.
In the new ones, he has is like a floating box type thing, or it's stuff in his body that reacts to magnetic.
Yeah, I think it's because the soldiers have it too. I think it's a belt. I think it's a belt that they wear. I read that somewhere. It's like an anti-gravity belt. And Baron just has it on all the time, I guess. But yeah, I don't know if they brought attention to it in 1984. And the way he flies around is just cartoonish. And like the noises he makes, like, he's just fucking flying around.
I was looking for the wire the whole time. I was kind of like while he was like doing his whole comic thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's gotta be here somewhere.
Director's looking. I want sci-fi. Gotcha.
Oh my! He's like Penguin, dude. He's like a ginger penguin with crazy. Penguin.
Open your eyes.
Oh my god! And like the one scene where he's like he gets underneath like the oil and he's just like bathing himself in the oil, and that one scene where he basically rapes and kills like the one ginger servant. Like, does he? I don't even know what's going on there. They don't show it. They just show him like fucking rubbing against him, and then like he dies, and then the Baron laughs. I'm like, what the fuck did he just? What did I just see?
I think his whole thing, at least in this one, was like, I think because of like his face and maybe his body, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he just feels gross, and he likes beauty, and I think that's why he has such a thing for feed.
Oh yeah, because fucking homeboy came out of the shower fucking naked.
Yeah,
in his little.
Vlad gave him fuck you eyes.
Yes,
fuck me eyes.
No, dude, that was like super.
What the kids would say, sus.
Where like it's just it added on top of all the weird shit that was going on with the Harkonnens, and I'm just like this. I'm sorry, Harkonnens.
True here.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, that also translates to in Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
When Vlad basically
oh yeah, you're right.
dons Fade with like the
award or whatever,
like the award to be the governor of Dune, or
no, to take his place.
Yeah, to take his place. And they basically they kissed twice
on the mouth.
On the mouth.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And the second one was definitely like.
It's the year 10,000, man.
Anything goes.
Yeah, man. We're already here in 2024.
That's true. Yeah, we're behind the times. Yeah. Let me go make out with my. Oh, that's fucking. This thing about that. No, I don't even want to think about that.
Hey, if you want to kiss your kin, like
no.
to me, that's weird. I can understand in some ways in your culture or the way your families go by it, that's not weird.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently, I think that's a big German Baptist thing. Yeah, if you've ever been to a German Baptist funeral, every time I've been to, like, I've had,
Gay?
yeah, I've
Like
had,
like kissing on the cheek or like
no, on the lips.
yo.
Dude,
I don't
I've been
know
to a
about
couple like
that.
GB funerals because like older family members were
Interesting.
part of GBs, and
Tom Brady.
Yep.
Tom Brady kisses
And-
his son on
yeah,
lips.
my dad would say like, hey, some of these people might try to kiss you on the lips. Don't be freaked out. And I'm like, dude, I don't know these people, man.
Wow.
But-
Interesting.
And what if you don't? It's like they're like, can you imagine it was like feudal Japan and they kiss people on the lips and you said no? And then they were like, oh, you disrespect me? We're going to kill you, boil you, and boil you alive.
Well, it's probably what they do in like Harkonnen society.
They probably
too.
do worse things than that.
Yeah,
Oh my
like-
God.
Touch you and die.
Well, which are we talking Harkonnens or are we talking Harkonnens?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
yeah.
I think the Harkonnens would do something way weirder.
I know. I think I'd be better off with the Harkonnens than the Harkonnens.
We're gonna dye your hair orange.
Oh, dear
shave
God,
it,
just
and
kill me.
and shave it down the middle.
Oh yeah,
I did
that's
see a couple of those.
that was
That's such a weird.
that was all the henchmen.
Yeah,
Had to shave down the middle.
Little fucking minions.
They're trying to make everything in that movie as weird and sci-fi weird as possible.
I know.
Like every single trope you've seen in
know.
sci-fi movies, like ones that didn't hold well,
Yeah.
like all the ones that aged like milk. Like I can like, what are some other examples of? I guess it doesn't really. I don't know if it counts. It's more like
Yeah.
fairy tale, but like Labyrinth, which also had David Bowie in it. Labyrinth also technically holds up, so that's a wrong answer. It's not even sci-fi technically.
I don't think I've seen Labyrinth.
I don't like Labyrinth.
I don't think I've seen Labyrinth.
Labyrinth is strange. Labyrinth is strange.
What is Labyrinth? It's a sci-fi movie.
More like
No,
fantasy.
it's fantasy.
All right. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I've never
puppets
seen
and music and
it.
It's a musical, definitely.
Okay. All right.
It's Pan's Labyrinth, but not Spanish.
well, I think
Okay.
another thing that set David Lynch back was the fact that Star Wars did come out,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, no, that's
George Lucas.
Well, like
He
5 years earlier, though.
yeah, but no. So
well,
Dune,
Empire Strikes Back came out like 2 years prior too.
Yeah.
yeah, the
80,
Star
81,
Wars
82.
franchise was started in '77.
Yeah.
77?
Dune,
Yeah.
the book, came out in like 65. And George Lucas, you can tell that George Lucas took a lot of inspiration
For sure.
from Dune and put it into Star Wars.
Sarlacc.
Every there's tons.
Yes.
So I think David Lynch probably had a little bit of like, okay, how do I take
Yeah.
the source material that Star Wars, inspired Star Wars, but also make it original.
hmm
But yeah,
I also there might have been stuff going on behind the scenes with like producers. They're probably breathing down David Lynch's neck, telling him, "Hey, make it more like Star Wars." Like I totally can see something like that being done.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because like the main what's the main actor's name? Kyle something MacLachlan. Kyle MacLachlan?
McLaughlin.
McGock.
Like Sarah McLaughlin.
Oh,
McLaughlin?
why is it so hard? That guy.
I'm golfing.
McLaughlin.
The guy who
Been-
plays Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
Like he definitely has Luke vibes, like Luke Skywalker vibes. He
Mm-hmm.
has like the
Well, that's exactly what Luke Skywalker was.
Yeah.
The Messiah.
yeah, but like that's what I think is so funny about this adaptation is that it completely misses the point. Like Paul doesn't want to be the Messiah. And like the whole story is about, hey, Messiah figures are bad and like people should not be celebrating Messiah figures. And at the end of Dune 1984, it's like, hey, celebrate Paul Atreides. He won. He's the fucking emperor
Hip
now.
hip hooray.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hooray.
So I think that's a major failing of this movie. Like aside from all the technical shit, aside from all of like just the parts of the movie that
Do you
did
think
not work, I think at its like philosophical core, it misses the point of the story of Dune, and that's where the real failure is.
Do you think movies today
Yeah.
need to be dished out a lot more and faster than they did in the 80s?
What do you mean dished out?
Like, let's make a movie, let's write it, film it, and then send it on its way to make money off of it. Do you think it was more about art now or more about art then?
That's a tough question.
You know,
I don't really.
Do you understand what I'm getting at when I ask
No,
the
no,
question?
no. I think in terms of the Hollywood blockbuster, I don't think much has changed in terms of
Well, the term,
that. But I think that the whole indie movie machine, or like the indie movie system, it doesn't exist in the same form as it did prior to. Because nowadays, if you make a small movie, it's never going to see a theater. It's going to come out on streaming. So
Yeah.
there's less incentive to make a really creative, personal vision small movie.
indie movie.
And it's almost impossible to get money for it to go to a theater. And nowadays, all the only thing that's showing in theaters are these giant fucking movies, and only a very few select people, only a few select directors are given the trust to have full control. Otherwise, all the fucking executive producers and all the people with the money, they're going to have their hands all over the creative process because they want to make sure their investment pays off, aka Star Wars.
That's so funny. Like,
So I think it's a little bit of both. I think creativity is lost in some sectors, and I think creativity is kept in others. I think right now, like TV is where a lot of the creativity is. There's so much good TV out there. I won't be able to watch it for like the list will just keep growing,
Yep.
and I'll never watch all the good TV out there because there's too much.
that's a good thing, though.
Yeah,
Because
No,
at least
it
you'll
definitely is
have
a good
something
thing.
later on to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like for me, Breaking Bad. I mean, Breaking Bad started in 2008, so I was still relatively young.
Yeah.
And it ended when I was also still in high school. But like I didn't really watch it until after high school.
Mhm.
Years after it ended, and years after, way longer after it began.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I see people following the, not the lore, but the storyline and its its notoriety, I guess you call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I finally watched. I'm like, this is something amazing. And for you, years down the line, you could just be like, oh, I haven't seen it yet. I know it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm missing out, but not really missing out. What am I missing out on?
Yeah.
Talking to people about it?
It showed on the TV anyway. I'll just watch it on the TV.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
in a week and a half, you have Fallout coming out.
It doesn't look that good. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna be good. It looks kind of. I don't know. I mean, well, I can't really know because it hasn't come out yet. But just I saw the trailer when I was watching, Dune Part 2.
TV shows are hard to tell if they're going to be good. Movies are easy to tell if they're going to be good. At least to me, movies are so much easier. I can know a movie's going to be bad just from the trailer. And I've talked about this many times.
I've been tricked before.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought Man of Steel was gonna be good. I was wrong.
Man of Steel was good in a way. There's something about it.
There's one trailer for Man of Steel that I thought it was gonna explore the humanity of Superman, and then I watched Man of Steel, and it was just like, oh, they're just
I don't kill people.
they're brawling. That's
Next
okay.
question.
There's nothing's going on here.
Or like the movie, the remember when the first Aquaman came out and people were like, "Hey, this was actually okay."
I haven't seen the first Aquaman.
Oh, okay, don't worry about it. Well, it was okay. It was incredibly okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Anyway,
Yeah, it was okay.
it
It's
was.
campy, but it was okay.
Yeah, it was a lot better than everything else. I think it was on par with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman, in my opinion, wasn't that good.
Oh no, I disagree. I think Wonder Woman is pretty good.
I disagree,
Yeah.
and I have my reasons, but I'm not going there.
All right.
But then
Are we talking Wonder Woman or 1984?
no, Wonder Woman.
Okay.
1984 was terrible.
I haven't seen it, and well, you told me it was god awful, and like I
No,
didn't
it's
need to
pure.
watch it,
It's
so-
utter garbage.
All right, I don't need to watch it. Yeah.
It's not even. It's not even like
Yeah.
properly linear with the first movie anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. Nah.
Like it comes later on, but it's not really linear to
Yeah,
anyway. And then the Aquaman 2,
yeah.
The Lost Kingdom. First thing there is the name. Everything's the lost something.
Oh.
The lost village, the lost kingdom, the lost temple,
Lost Hero,
the lost paradise.
Yeah.
The lost. Yeah, everything's a
Lost
something.
Jedi. Oh wait, no, it's Last Jedi. Never mind.
Same thing though.
Yeah.
I think they need to start making more movies that are.
More found.
I mean, yeah, but also like
Yeah.
something that doesn't have world-altering stakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously in the Batman or most Batman movies, like they're pretty grounded. But
It's
like
Gotham.
that's
We're dealing with
that's Gotham.
Gotham.
That's Batman.
Yeah.
But like with these other heroes, like Aquaman, like
He's
maybe
letting out toxic sludge into the ocean that'll destroy 80% of the like.
this will
and it's-
kill everyone.
Oh my god! And I tell myself, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch because sometimes a movie
Yeah.
comes out, I'm like, I watch movies essentially for free anyway,
Mm.
so why not go watch it? And then I told myself, no, I'm not gonna even give him my time. I'm not gonna spend the gas on going to the to the movie theater, wait in line to
I'm
get
not
a
gonna give
snack or a
them my
drink.
butt to their seat.
No, I'm not even giving a 50-cent charge. They don't. This movie doesn't deserve it. And so I waited. It came out on HBO, and I put it on. Within 8 minutes, I was already like, oh. I got up and I turned it off. And I was like, I'm just gonna go watch something. I'm just gonna watch some
I'm just gonna watch some YouTube.
YouTube or something. And then I went back to it. I gave it another 10 minutes. Like, oh no, this is getting worse and worse and worse. And then I gave it 30 minutes. I didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this movie is exactly the way I thought it was gonna be. Just bad. Just lazy. And I guess going back down to it, a lot of movies you can tell were gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And you go back to the 80s and everything. What was the trailer like in the 80s? I never saw
a
it
world.
firsthand. Yeah,
Yeah.
in a world, or like Paul Atreides is. I want to do one. And it's funny this Paul Atreides is a young kid, is like played by a 30-year-old man. He's a rich boy or something, who becomes Jesus Christ. We're in the new movies like, wow, another white savior in a land full of brown people.
You're not even brown.
Jesus was brown.
Ah.
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, after watching part 2 and then watching 1984 and seeing Stigler come out, I'm like, who's this dude?
Oh my god, dude, Javier Bardem, he was so good.
Solid. My favorite line,
Yeah.
even though he says this about a million times in the movie, is his very last line in the movie, part 2,
What is it?
is right after Paul kills Feed.
Yeah.
It pans over to Javier, and he's like, Lisa Akalib. He's like, that's that dude.
that.
That's the dude.
Every time he's like the best hype man.
Mhm.
It's just like anytime Paul. This is like in the Reddit comments of the Dune Part 2 thread, and like one of the top comments is like, Paul breathes, and then Stilgar says, "Lisan Al Gaib." And like everyone loved how like he said that, because Paul's like, I'm just a guy. I'm just here to fight for what's right. I'm not the Messiah. And then Stilgar's like, what'd he say? The Mahdi is too humble to say that he's the Mahdi.
Yeah.
As written. Even more reason to believe that he's the. And I'm just like, that I can't believe that shit's funny.
I'm just a regular dude. You literally rode the
Yeah.
biggest worm, the grand worm. Like, oh, right?
grandfather worm.
The grandfather
Yeah.
worm. You rode like the most bad boy out there. And like
Mhm.
you were able to survive something that no man can survive
Yeah.
because your power. Like you literally have superpowers.
Mhm.
Shut up. You're Jesus. Get over it. Get over yourself, man.
I mean, I don't want to steer too much away from 1984,
Space Jesus.
but like, Dune Part 2 is so good. I love just like the small things that you don't expect to happen in the movie. Like one of the things that I loved is that at the end, like he beats Fade Rotha, and he walks up to the Emperor, and then like he wants the Emperor to kiss his ring, and then like he has his hand there, and then the movie just waits. The movie just waits, and then the camera's on Paul, and Paul's waiting, and he just got stabbed. Like fucking homeboy's bleeding
Barely
out,
breathing. Yeah.
right? And then like Christopher Walken, he's not kissing, and then you're expecting him to like Paul to say, I don't know, like kiss the ring, like repeat himself or something, but the fucking guy just stomps. He just stomps, and that just sends
Assume
the
power.
exact message, and like. That's so creative, and it's such a primal way to, like you just said, show dominance.
And that's another reason why these movies are better than 1984, because in 1984 they show the inner monologue of almost everyone.
Oh,
It's like they'd be like, wow, that Coke Zero looks really good. Man, I really wish I had a drink of that Coke Zero.
Oh my god.
everybody's the main character.
That's the 1984 one just thinks that like the movie thinks you're stupid and it needs to tell you everything at all times. And
Yeah, I hate like character by character exposition.
everyone does it. It's like you would think that like a movie with, inner monologue, it'll have like one character's inner monologue. But in this movie, every fucking character gets to say their own piece silently to the audience.
That's what I was thinking about because
Yeah.
I watched Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
In the first season, everybody had their own like explanation, inner monologue. And then in season 2, they're like, "Hey, you know what? That's dumb. Let's take out all these super like I explained to you on the text message machine thing, the phone. There we go. I forgot how to say phone for a second. And then it's like, hey, get rid of it trying to have these people explain these overly complex, power moves, and let's have a narrator explain everything. Let's just do that. And then instead of explaining like this is what I want,
Yeah.
have one thing explain what they all want.
Mm.
That's easier. It's easier for somebody to focus on. Because now I'm listening to this in 1984.
Yeah.
All these normal exposition in the lines, and then you have the inner lines. It's as if they're all talking to each other anyway. Like you're having two conversations between each other.
Oh god.
It has to get over itself too. Like, I mean, it definitely did. I mean, I'm sure it's one of those movies like even today where you're like wondering, wow, how did this movie get made?
I think
Like, what were they thinking?
I think it would have had a better response if they decided to not take itself so seriously. If it went with like a Sharknado route, like make it so bad that it's good and like have the movie know that it's being stupid, then I think they would have had something like really fun.
How could anybody take it seriously today then, like for new movies we made, if they,
Yeah.
hey, this movie was a movie that was really stupid and knew it was stupid and didn't take this actual serious book seriously. How are we supposed to take this seriously now?
So at that point, I think it becomes
Especially $300 million.
Release a good ass movie. That's how.
yeah. I mean that and what are those? There, those parodies that were like released in like the 2000s, like 2000.
Oh, yeah,
probably,
like,
2015.
Epic movie,
Epic
date
movie,
movie.
superhero movie.
Meet the Spartans.
Uh,
Meet the Spartans. I thought it was actually funny.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah.
what would be a parody of Dune? A good title for Dune.
Rune. I don't know.
Doomed.
Doomed. Yeah.
This movie's doomed.
I don't know.
I think as much as we think shit on this movie, I actually found it really entertaining. I had a good time watching it.
I also had a good time. Yeah.
Like it super cheesy. Pacing is just honestly, I think the first half of the movie had kind of decent pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Second half, no, no, it like sped run everything.
Yes.
Is this before the concept of like, hey, we need to make every movie 2 to 2.5 hours long?
How long?
face it-
How long is 1984? It's like what, 2:15 ish.
It's about that.
I don't even know. Let's see.
It's a shorter movie than Dune Part 1 or Part 2.
Mhm.
Like it's shorter.
Yep.
But it feels longer.
Yes.
But it feels longer, but the ending feels super rushed. So
Yes.
like how it's really there's like a weird fucking mishmash of
Well,
like pacing.
When he
feeling.
met the Fremen,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, this is where Dune Part 1 ends.
Yeah.
Got it. And then he's like, I'm Mohadib now.
I know.
That's my name. Like, all right, you're part of the family now.
Oh my
What
god!
Oh.
It happened so fast. I was so shocked by how fast it happened,
Or how about the Roblox character fight?
dude. Oh my god! The shields. They should have just not done it. They should have just.
Or just like they already had the technology. They showed it plenty of
Yeah.
times, and with the Emperor's lightning, just add little blue lines to their bodies.
Exactly. Why is that so hard?
Like, I don't understand.
It are like in a universe where a movie like Star Wars had already come out, and like those effects, that's what the audience, that level of fucking immersion, that level of I guess advanced visual effects, that's what audiences expect now. And now you release a movie like fucking almost over 6 years later. What's 77 to 84? That's like that's 7 years. 7 years later, you're releasing a movie and it looks worse than Star Wars, which came out 7 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Come
Yeah.
on.
Star Wars is very simplified too.
Yes,
Yep.
this movie actually made me
A little
appreciate-
goes a long way.
I appreciate Star Wars so much after watching this too. Yeah.
Well, that's pod racing.
Okay, maybe not the
Phantom Menace is
prequels, but
Phantom Menace is.
dude, when Phantom Menace first came out, I loved it.
Yeah.
People don't love it.
I was like, this is peak cinema. I was also like fucking 11 years old.
People don't love it.
Yeah.
You know that.
But I have fond memories of Phantom Menace. I think it has some of the best lightsaber fights in the entire series.
Why do? That's the big thing people talk about. Like,
Yeah,
where did that go?
I don't know.
Like,
I
where
have no
did
idea.
the choreography? This beautiful, like, these are knights. They're
Yeah.
literal knights, right? So they're noblemen who swear their lives to protecting the innocent and upholding, the force,
Yeah,
right, and peace amongst the galaxy.
yeah.
And like, they're trained heavily from like essentially birth, at some point or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it goes away. Like,
I think because
why?
it did go away.
Yeah, the Order disintegrated.
I mean, Kylo Ren and Rey. I mean, their fights are awful,
yeah.
and you can tell like the choreography is not there. But
I don't know.
they have like no formal training of like
Yeah,
doing anything.
I think there's a little bit
That's a good
of intention. Like, it is intentionally sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like Kylo Ren should have been a better dueler.
I blame Kathleen Kennedy.
I also blame Kathleen Kennedy for that. I don't know. It's
South Park's joke on Disney and Kathleen Kennedy was
oh
funny.
really?
Have you seen that?
No. I haven't seen South Park in
Oh.
like years.
They did another special. They're talking about like they called the Panderverse, talking about how Disney is the biggest offender when it comes to pandering to audiences and
Yeah.
whatever, which is kind of true.
Mm.
But whatever. But they made a joke saying like Cartman is Kathleen Kennedy from a different universe because every movie's about like the multiverse
Mm.
these days. A lot of these sci-fi movies, especially Avengers and Disney, whatever, they call it Panderverse. And Kathleen Kennedy's Cartman is like, no, don't make it a good character. Just make her like black, lame, and gay or something like that. Like it's like every. And the issue a lot of people have is like, oh, every main character is a
Yeah.
super powerful woman who also happens to be a lesbian or something, and they're not fun.
Is that true?
I don't think it's 100% true, but you do see
But that's the joke, though.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
But it is also noticeable. There are
I don't think that's true. Yeah.
well, not saying 100% true, but
Yeah.
there are definitely showings of like they do it a lot. They do it a lot.
Ray's not gay though.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're talking about everything pretty much after.
Ahsoka's not gay either.
Not
What
Ahsoka.
are we talking about in the Star Wars universe?
I don't have any specific examples right now.
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds really bad when I say no, but like when you're in the moment, you're thinking about it, like, and then when people explain it, I'm like, yeah, you can kind of see it.
Hmm.
Is it really a big deal in my head? Not really. No, I don't care that much.
I think the whole like the loss of the I guess really intricate, really well choreographed, like super high skill level like lightsaber dueling. I think there's an in-universe explanation for it, but there's also a
There's a fan reason. People want to see that.
yeah, the in-universe reason is that the Jedi Order has fallen and that no one can teach that anymore.
Well, there are already
but-
plenty of continuity errors. Then why not just add this one
You're
exception?
not letting me finish.
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying there is an in-universe reason for it, but there's also other reasons for it too. There's a stylized reason that probably comes from a decision of a director to make it that way. Maybe he doesn't want. Well, J.J. Abrams did the first one. Maybe he didn't want Kylo Ren to be too. Because if Kylo Ren was actually an amazing duelist, he would have just easily overpowered Rey.
Mm-hmm.
And Rey is obviously not a duelist, and the only weapon that she's comfortable using is like the two-handed like bow staff. And like when she even uses the lightsaber, she uses it like a bow staff. She fucking pokes like with a bow staff. Like so, that's an in-universe explanation for Rey's lack of skill. But there's no real in-universe explanation for why Kylo Ren sucks dick. Because like he should be good, right? Because he got trained by Luke Skywalker. Like in theory, he should be very good.
Well, I think
Yeah. So that's a decision. That's a decision that was made by a director.
Yep.
To make him not as good, in order to make the fight with Rey more realistic. Because if he
yeah.
was good, he would have fucking like he would have destroyed Rey.
Another fair argument would be the
Yeah.
fact that the original trilogy also didn't have them. There were no crazy fights in.
I disagree. Return of the Jedi. Rewatch Return of the Jedi.
Are you talking about like Darth Vader versus Luke?
Yes, that's really good. That's
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah.
good choreography.
I guess what people want to see is the level of episode 1, 2, and 3. I guess that's
that,
what people complain about the most, or
Okay.
they bring up the most, and you nowhere near had that in the first.
I think Star Wars 1977, and I think Empire Strikes Back. The lightsaber work is reminiscent of the time of the 70s, of the 80s. I guess stuntmen just sucked back then, or choreographers just sucked back then. But then something happened with Return of the Jedi, and like the lightsaber battle between Luke and Vader in Return of the Jedi is amazing.
The first thing that comes to mind is
It's amazing.
First thing that comes to mind is when Luke had the high ground over him and did the flip over him.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about straight up like blade work.
Oh yeah.
I rewatched the fight just on YouTube, and this is during a time when I was rewatching a bunch of like old Star Wars stuff, and I was blown away by how good it was. Yeah, but you're right. Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, the best lightsaber work like ever.
I think the only way to really get back to that level of the prequels is if you either time hop forward like 50, 100 years, where either Rey sets up a new order and they are more accustomed to their skills, or go back.
I think we should just go back. We should go back to the Old Republic. That's what they should do.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's with the Star Wars Acolyte.
Really? That's what that's about?
Mm-hmm.
It's about
I don't know if it's the Old Republic.
I didn't
but I know
see.
it is.
It's funny how that's-
before.
Yeah.
It takes place before the prequels.
It's funny how that's the thing that every hardcore fan wants to see. That's what people like. Give us that, please.
Well, okay,
And then
that's
there's
what hardcore fans want to see. But the average American who will pay to put their butts in seats, is that what they want?
I think it's the High Republic.
The High Republic.
The High Republic.
Oh, so that's during the time of that's after Revan,
Mm-hmm.
but it's before the Skywalkers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dune 1984.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
The combat in this, is there even? I don't even remember that. There's one combat
the voice
scene.
guns.
Oh my god!
They
I
got
thought that was so dumb.
Yeah, so instead of like select few people knowing how to use like Bene Gesserit witch magic voice techniques, we're just gonna put it into a supersonic laser gun.
Everything's
Give it to
automated
everybody.
these days. No, they can do it with
Just
their own
all these
hands.
worms, and they're just like hiya, and they're shooting the kids. So dumb. Like, how did anyone greenlight this? Oh my god.
They're like, yeah, that's good. One of the producers like, add a gun. Explaining how this whole
no,
Bene Gesserit thing works is too complicated. We only have 2
turn it
hours.
into a gun.
Make it a gun. NRA was a big.
They were a big contributor to the financial.
Absolutely.
No,
Probably were.
I looked it up. The weirding modules. That's what they were called. I watched this with Johnny, by the way, and like,
I can imagine his reaction to it.
dude, he fell asleep. And I did not blame him.
What the hell's going on here?
It's
I don't understand what's going on here.
literally what he said.
He brought his hands up and everything. Yeah, I bet. I know. I don't know. This is dumb. Good night.
What was I saying? I was saying the weirding modules. I looked it up and they made it up for the movie. It's not in the book. And it's definitely not in part 1 or part 2. Yeah, it's just some shit that someone made up and they put it in there.
We'll just wait till part 3.
Oh,
What's gonna happen?
They're gonna come out with weirding modules.
What if I wonder if are there? Do you think it's like Denis Villeneuve's like maybe let's do an homage to the last movie, even though just because
He already did one. He already did an homage. And I think it was because when in part 1 when Lady Jessica and Paul, they meet the Fremen, and then Lady Jessica fucking like she fucking squares up against Stilgar and puts him in a chokehold, and then Stilgar's like, "Oh, you didn't tell us that you were a weirding woman." I think that's a reference to fucking this shit.
Oh,
Yeah, because they never say those words. They never say weirding, weirding way. They never say any of that shit. Again, that's the one time that they use that phrase. And unless it's in the book, I don't know.
That's the best way to do it. Not like I personally don't like the Easter eggs of like past movies. Like Clash of the Titans comes to mind when I think about that. When like the OG Clash of the Titans, when they had like the little mechanical owl, and if you watch the new one, I mean a new one,
it's new-ish, way new.
Did we do?
We did the OG one,
dude. I remember. I forgot we did that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a video.
It was like March of last year.
That wasn't a video. That was one of our audio podcasts.
That was like one of the last audios.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it?
Mm-hmm.
You said mechanical owl, and instantly the memories came.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in the newer one,
Yeah.
they were like rooting through a chest, and they're like, "What's this thing?" It was the mechanical owl. And I'm like, "Oh, that's nothing." And they just like, not a big fan of that.
Disrespectful.
To be honest, I just really want to keep talking about part 2.
I know. No, I feel that way.
A thing I liked in part 2 is that they didn't give Paul's sister
dude,
like any screen time, which is great, other than
that one scene with Anya Taylor-Joy,
and it wasn't like this little girl that was super like
freaky,
super voiced over,
super freaky little girl.
Yeah.
That was a treat to see because like I had no idea she would be in the movie, Anya Taylor-Joy, and then, but she's not going to be a prominent character, right? She's probably going to be like end of the movie, future.
I think in Messiah.
I think she takes a very.
Is she gonna grow super fast or something?
No, apparently in the book, like that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. I think
little baby Alea kills Baron Harkonnen in the book, and he kills him with the Gom Jabbar, the fucking poison needle.
Okay, so this is the next movie, or because it's gonna be a trilogy, it's gonna be like 15 years later or something like that.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Because then you have to make everybody. Like, how do you make Timothée Chalamet look 20 years older?
I don't know.
I mean, CGI.
Sure, but like that's funny because like people do the CGI to make people look younger these days.
Just don't get the same face prosthetics that what's his face?
This is gonna bushy eyebrows,
dude.
Blue eyes,
Maestro.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
the
say
nose,
the big nose.
Oh,
from Maestro.
I thought you were gonna say JGL and Looper.
Oh, they did that.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Bring Bruce Willis in. Bruce Willis will play Timothy Chalamet.
Bruce Willis retired.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he had
Sad story with him.
Rest in peace.
brain stuff.
He's still alive.
No, I mean rest in
Yeah.
peace from his career.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, the little girl, I was very surprised to see that. Obviously I looked it up later and found out that that's what happens in the book. And I think Denis, he was like, yeah, we're not gonna have that. I think that's a good choice.
Ooh,
Been real weird if they had that in the movie.
who was the Bene Gesserit like top dog woman? Who was the pointed to the
Lady
king?
Mohiam.
Yeah. Remember how she was like pretty much like talking shit to him before they fought?
Yeah.
And he goes and like he uses the voice.
Yeah.
Perfectly. Silence. Yeah. And then she's like, she calls him I don't know,
Abomination.
Abomination. And because he's like he was trained in the ways when he wasn't supposed to. Only women were allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But he from the last time he saw her, he couldn't do it. She overpowered him.
Yeah.
And then she couldn't do it because like you can't overpower me.
Mm.
Like I'm a million times more powerful than you now. And all in a year, what 6 months?
Mm.
He's been away for a year, I think.
I don't really know the time period, but were you about to make a comparison with 1984?
Yeah. But was I gonna make one? No, I wasn't gonna make a comparison.
Because you should. Because the way that because the same scene happens, right?
Yeah.
And in Dune Part 2, like she just gets overwhelmed and then she just says like under her breath abomination. And but in the 1984 one, she fucking like it's like it's like the sound of a dying cat. Like it sounds so bad. Do you not remember how it's
been 2 weeks.
she was like eh, and I'm like I can't believe they put that in the movie. Oh my
Get
god.
out of my mind.
Oh my god. It was so bad.
Dude, I can't wait for it to come out on HBO. I'm gonna watch it right here.
Yes. I really liked hold on. I really didn't like how Chani was in 1984. She was just like, all right, I'm in love with you now. All right. And I fully support your decision to be a religious fucking messiah figure. And I think Denis' decision to make her a little bit more skeptical, a little bit more of a fucking person, I think that was way better. And I think it makes Part 2's ending hit that much harder because, like, in 1984, does he take the emperor's daughter's hand in 1984? I don't remember. I don't think he does.
It doesn't say it in 1984.
Okay. But when he did that in Part 2 and like you can see Chani, she's just like, what the fuck?
Like, bro.
And then she just walks away. And I thought that was really powerful.
Takes the worm bus home.
Yes. I love that. I love that song. That one part of the soundtrack. By the way, Hans Zimmer fucking knocked it out of the park.
Goated.
Absolutely blew me away. But that one
Blew all of us.
part of the soundtrack, I really liked it, and I actually tried to replicate it on guitar because I liked it so much. I think I could make it sound kind of similar, but obviously it's not the same. It's a fucking flute, and I have a guitar, so they're not the same. But I really, and I've been listening to it a lot actually on repeat.
What's it called?
There's different iterations of the melody. I think the one that is at the end of the movie is called "Kiss the Ring," but the one I've been listening to is "A Time of Quiet Between Storms." But "Kiss the Ring," that's the one that comes out at the end of the movie. But I really like that part of the soundtrack, and
I'm gonna give it a listen.
yeah, I'll play it for guitar for you later. But yeah, the soundtrack I don't think the soundtrack was bad for 1984. I think it had a very distinct sound to it, and I think it was actually pretty good. It doesn't have the same feel. It has more of a classic sci-fi feel, in that sense, I guess it's more like Star Wars.
Yeah,
But I thought it was pretty good.
I think that's a plus because there's some times where I thought like, okay, this movie is like super cheesy 80s sci-fi. I'm waiting for like this like guitar riff and banjo like Bon Jovi to start playing, or you know something like super cheesy as they were riding like the worms into battle.
Yeah.
What if while they're riding the worms, instead of hearing the normal music from the Dune soundtrack, you hear the Wonder Woman theme song? Dun, 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 dun. It kind of fits.
Were they using jump ropes in those scenes? You know, like
What do you mean?
so
I mean, the hooks they use.
the hooks they use. I remember in at least the gym class in my elementary gym class, we had these like red and white jump ropes, and they had like those little connecting things, like the little plastic
Handles.
and well, not the handles, but also like on the rope itself, these plastic.
Oh, the little
yeah,
spinning thing.
Yeah, I think they were using jump ropes as hooks.
As for wrangling the worms?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that shit, dude.
I'm gonna have to
I bet they did. I bet they did. That sounds like something this fucking production would do.
Hey, we got. Did you get the hooks? Yeah.
It's a good thing. My wife's a PE teacher.
Got plenty of them.
Yeah.
The movie it's bad, but like we said, it's something you still enjoyable.
If you kind of
Turn your brain off?
start the movie and like in your brain, all right, this movie's bad. It's known to be bad. Let's fucking do it. I think you could have a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
it's still very colorful. It's definitely
yeah.
very polar opposite of the new ones. These aren't remakes. These are is a make. The new Dune movies is an initial original, make. I don't consider 1984
adaptation.
or an adaptations. Yeah, there we go. This one is an adaptation on its own, but completely separate, even though it tells the same story, just F plus.
I think another plus to it.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart as
Gurney.
Gurney.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
He had hair. He had a little bit of hair.
He had a mullet.
Yeah. I thought that was very strange. Yeah.
Also, so that whole story, I know that the same thing happened in Dune Part 2. I don't know if this is a part of the book. I'd assume so because both movies did it.
Yeah.
Where he became a smuggler, but like the Fremen and Paul just like run up on him as he's like doing his smuggling thing.
I know.
And I'd assume that all of Gurney's men or Gurney's dudes that he was running with, they're dead. Like
in part 2, they show them like eating in the cave and like in part 2, like they get disarmed when they start fighting. You can see the Fremen, they like do fucking jujitsu on them. They don't stab him though. I saw, and I verified this because I saw it twice.
Okay.
They don't stab him when they engage. They fucking do jujitsu and disarm them. But in the 1984, they just fucking killed them all.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, because when I watched part 2, I'm like, they're Paul and Gurney are just like
they having a bro.
They're having a bro moment, and then like the Fremen are still taking down all Gurney's buds.
Yeah.
But
did you watch it yesterday? Like you watched this yesterday?
I watched both of them yesterday.
You went to the theaters to watch it?
I went to the theaters yesterday.
Did you go by yourself?
Yeah.
I would have gone with you. Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Regal.
I would have gone with you. I would have gone with you. I love that movie. Actually, matter of fact, I think I'll watch it again. I might just do it today.
Honestly, for me, watching it the second time made me appreciate it more. And that's just because how long it is, right? So it's a long movie, and because the movie's long, there's a lot of stuff that, you can forget, especially if you only watch it one time. And like for me, when I watch a movie for the first time, like it's easier for me to express my emotional response to the movie, and it's harder for me to spell out in words like what happened when, like what are the order of the sequence of events. Like it's hard for me to say that. So it's hard for me to appreciate the structure of a movie just the first time around.
Yeah.
Watching it the second time, like I can kind of emotionally step back because I know what to expect. I know what happens. I felt the feelings already, and now I can look at the movie in a structural sense and see how, okay, we're in this scene. Okay, now this scene moves to this scene. Okay, that was a really interesting transition. Or like, oh, we're spending a lot of time on this scene. Or like, oh, this scene was shorter than I remember. And like the timing, the structure, how the different parts, the sequences like fit together, I can see it more clearly. And you see it more clearly, you appreciate it more. Or maybe you realize, okay, maybe that this was a misstep. Maybe they spent too much time on this part, or maybe they didn't flesh this out as much as they should have. You get a less, you get a clear picture second time around.
You're saying 2 times is good, unless it's Tenet and you need at least 6.
Bro, I've
watches?
seen Tenet like 4 times, and
Still confusing.
oh my god.
My head.
And the amount of times I've seen YouTube videos of Tenet, I've basically seen it like 10 times. Yeah. There's so many interesting YouTube videos on Tenet that like splice the different scenes together. I like Tenet. I know it's narratively a mess. I know, but I just like it. I like the feel of it. I think it has a really cool
hold it in your
feel.
hands. Feels great in my hands. I feel like
Yeah. This movie, I would watch this movie again.
Yeah.
With people. I would. And I would love to watch this with like hardcore Dune people. I don't know if you guys know any hardcore Dune people. I know one a long time ago at like one of those church retreat things. One of the counselors, like he loved Dune so much, and he would talk about it
like
a lot.
1984 Dune.
No. The book.
Oh.
The book. I wonder what his take is on the 19. I want to know his take on like the new movies, but
I don't know how you can dislike it.
I don't. Well, apparently Picard didn't like part 1. But
Well, he's stupid.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
don't even know the guy.
Yeah. Oh no, he has a point though, because he was saying like if you just look at part 1, and by the way, he has not seen part 2, and if you just take part 1 for what it is very unsatisfying. It is very unsatisfying, and it's a lot of world building. And if you don't know what the world is building to, if you don't know what like the end goal is, it can seem like it drags. And to be honest, Denis films, he's not a fast-paced director. He likes to take his time with the scenes, and some people they prefer, the fast-paced style.
In and out type thing.
Yeah. So I mean,
Evil
I
New.
kind of get where he's coming from. He didn't say he hated it. He just says like
He really
yeah.
deepened the saturation of the orange, man. Like in the first one, where it's color.
That's true.
And the second one, orange. It was like more orange. Please. It's like, this is Dune, the table. Like, this is what I see when I watch Dune. Now, I'm not saying like.
Do you think 1984? I feel like 1984 wasn't very sandy.
No, it was very colorful.
Yeah.
There's plenty of colors.
I feel like there was more like indoor scenes than sand scenes, to be honest.
It's 'cause sand, going to desert, that costs money. we can only afford jump ropes, man. You think we're going to Sahara Desert?
Yeah.
Everyone's getting Zika.
Zika virus.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess back then it was West Nile, right? West Nile.
Yeah.
No, you'd need standing water for West Nile, so maybe not. Maybe not West Nile.
I saw a picture. It was a meme. It said,
Yeah.
they found water on Mars. And then some guy's like, Mars 1, Africa 0.
Rough.
Completely out of left field. Sorry. It just came to my
You
brain.
just insulted the entire continent.
Did I? Did I insult the continent, or did God insult the entire
whoever
continent?
made that meme. Well, that's not entirely true, because there's actually the ecosystem of the entire continent. There's a lot of variation. You'd be surprised.
No, I know.
Oh,
the joke. It's the ongoing joke of
Yeah.
there's no water in Africa. They're
Yes,
all
yes.
in the water. Like, no, they're
Third world country. Ha ha ha.
like, or like
Yeah.
they don't have shoes. I'm like, no, they got shoes, man. I think one of the cobblers is like
Yeah.
one of the biggest professions there. I'm pretty sure. along with traders.
I don't know. I don't keep up with Cobbler Monthly.
Anyway, that was an issue with totes. Totes is like, hey, for every pair of totes you buy, we give another pair to people in Africa. Like
What's totes?
the shoes.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that was a thing. That's what every single pair of totes that somebody buys,
Yeah.
they give a free one to somebody in Africa who needs it.
That's a whole ass continent. They should be more specific.
Africa? No, it's a country.
It's just a country.
A lot of people believe it's just a country.
A lot of people don't think Delaware exists. So, you know what?
But does it?
That doesn't surprise me.
But does it exist?
Does Delaware exist?
When somebody's asking me to spat out all 50
Asking
states, I
that-
always forget Delaware.
Asking that to a Delawarean, that's a lot of fucking nerve. All right, let's wrap up here.
Okay.
I think you have the next flick.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
this movie is right now, it is out in theaters. However, it'll be on Shudder around the 19th.
Okay.
It's a movie that, I don't want to explain it. You can do a free trial on Shudder and watch it. It's a horror movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, sorry,
When's the last time we did a horror movie?
It's been a bit.
Did we ever do a horror movie?
Mhm.
We have
did
Can't remember.
the one where the Airbnb one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Barbarian.
No, that was a good one.
Barbarian. That was a good one.
That
I
was
liked
a
that.
good
I did
one.
like that one.
Yeah.
This one looks really good. It's called Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night.
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah,
Devil.
yeah.
This looks really good.
With
And
Dalmatian.
Dalmatian.
Dalmatian. There you go.
I don't even know who that is.
You ever watch Prisoners?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Dune Part 1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was literally the freaking
He was like
was,
the little
the-
sleazy.
he was the Harkonnen's computer guy.
Oh.
Yeah, he dies in the chamber when.
Yeah.
Drax kills him.
Yeah.
Drax.
Drax kills him?
No.
Drax doesn't kill him. No, he gets poisoned.
He gets poisoned.
He gets poisoned by the tooth.
Oh right,
He's
yeah.
in the room. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's so funny that we call him Drax.
Yeah.
He is Drax.
he
It
is
is
Drax.
Drax. It's literally Drax.
There's no other person who could play
Yeah.
him. But yeah, it's a movie about him where he's a late night television host.
Yeah, late
you know,
night.
like in the 1970s. And the movie is filmed like watching a TV through CRT TV in 1970s late night television.
Yeah.
And he pretty much has an interview with the devil through, a person who is possessed allegedly by the devil. And
Okay.
it looks really good. It's got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes for an indie IFC film.
Wow.
But it's tonight. I might watch it tonight or tomorrow night because it's on
Yeah.
theaters at like 1900. So,
Okay.
but other than that, if you want to wait, it comes out.
Spoken 7 o'clock for normal people.
Sorry, 7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m.
Or just wait till the 19th, I guess.
19th of April.
Yeah, for when it comes out on Shudder for
All right.
free.
How long is it going to be in theaters?
Oh, so I mean,
If it's in theaters for a while, I'll probably watch it.
it's only for this week. It's only doing one showing at night.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry.
And I think Friday's the last day. It's an indie film, so like
Okay.
I think a lot of theaters like are Regal here.
Maybe I could watch it Friday.
I'll watch it Friday.
I think I could watch it Friday. We can talk about this after the podcast.
Sure, yeah, we can talk about it. But that's the movie I chose, and I'm
right.
sorry to make you guys spend money on it or wait.
Oh no, it's okay. Late Night with the Devil.
Slick. Burn, burn, slick. Slick, slick, burn, burn, burn.